Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Andhina Qaddis Fithratana. Today I want to share my review about the book Rewriting Islam by Hasnul Insani Djohar. This book is published in August 2024, which is really new, and published by the Ohio State University Press. And for the table of contents, this book has 8 chapters, and each chapter discusses different novels. This book explores the representation of Islam in American novels written after the 9/11 tragedy. The book explores how the novels portray Muslim and Islamic identities, especially in the context of diaspora, prejudice, and the struggle against negative stereotypes of Islam. And the strange of the book is how Johar puts her arguments in each novel, which is I really love it, and I would like to give my arguments to the Johar arguments. First, in chapter 1, the book Rewriting Islam discusses the novel A Map of Home by Randa Jarar, 2008. However, this pure greeting has been misunderstood by the dominant culture in the United States, which associates the salutation and perhaps many Arabic phrases with terrorism. Page 30. I agree that not only physical appearance is judged, but the Arabic language has been misunderstood too. In my opinion, everything related to Arabs is always deficient in Americans' view. For example, in 2016, YouTuber Adam Saleh uploaded his expulsion from a Delta Airlines flight for speaking Arabic to his mother on the phone. And Sharifuddin and Horizon 2024 strengthened the arguments by saying after the tragedy of September 11, 2001, Arabic was among the most popular to learn in Western countries, especially America. Why? Because the American government in particular and the West in general point out that the human tragedy stems from the teaching of Muslim holy book, the Quran, with Arabic as the language. In a bad way, I thought. And the next in chapter 2, which is discusses the novel The Language of Baklava by Diana Abu Jaber, 2005. Food and food culture are represented as a means to be together and understand different cultures without erasing or forgetting one's own unique identity. Page 51. I had that same idea about how food and food cultures can bring us together without erasing the other one. For example, in Indonesia, there are a lot of traditional foods from each region. For example, in Jakarta has their own food, but there are people who sell gudeg without changing the taste of the original gudeg to retain Yogyakarta food culture, which famously had sweet food. The idea strengthened through the Utami 2019 statement by saying food can said to bind the separation of one community from another. And the next is chapter 4, discusses the novel Saffron Dreams by Saila Abdullah, 2009. Historically, the reason why these extremist Americans attack the protagonist is that some propaganda in both the media and white religious debates tend to perceive Muslim as prejudiced and biased. Page 81. I agree on how the media also contributes to the worsening of Americans' views on Muslim. In the aftermath of 9/11, many Western media outlets portray the Islamic world in very bad. For example, pictures of Pakistani protesters, women with Quran and sword in their hands, or movies with anti-Islamic tendencies, all of which were shown over and over again, constantly every day. So that the American public would believe that Islam really did it. Not only that, the media also affected the policy of invention of Iraq 2003. Juita 2014 strengthened the arguments by stating in the United States invention of Iraq, the mass media played a role in shaping public opinion and providing information containing reasons for the invention policy of Iraq. And next is in chapter 6, Djohar discusses the novel Hope and Other Dangerous Pursuits by Laila Lalami, 2003. And there is an argument that I disagree with. In these countries, prostitution is approved by the state and the major communities as a profession and promoted and advertised in consumer society. Page 115. Because before this statement, Djohar mentioned several countries, including Indonesia. Actually, I really don't know how other countries approve of prostitutes, especially by the state. But in Indonesia, it is not approved by the government or the society itself. According to Yulianti et al. 2020, prostitution in Indonesia is considered a crime against morals or decency, and prostitution is an illegal and unlawful activity. And lastly, in chapter 7, which is my favorite novel so far, which is Once in the Promised Land. But I have an argument for this quote. In some ways, buying into American culture makes Salwa vulnerable, as her existence is rejected by people in the homeland and in the hostland. Page 137. I agree half and half with Djohar's statement. I agree that if someone tries to fit in excessively, she or he may experience an identity crisis. But I disagree that it could be vulnerable, because being a migrant requires us to adapt and fit into their cultures without losing ourselves. Maybe Salwa is just trying her best to do so. So I really half and half. Like Cristianto et al. 2024 said that communication can be said to be an important factor for permanent migrants to avoid social problems, but to have a better understanding and adjustment when adapting the cultural values of the local community. So there are the 5 arguments from me. And in my opinion, the book is written in an advanced academic language, which may be difficult to understand for general readers who are interested in issues of Islamic representation but do not have a deep theoretical or academic background. Using more accessible language could make this book more easy to read to a wider audience. But I really enjoy reading this book and all the novels in it, although there are some shortcomings, but they do not decrease the quality of this book. This book still contains a lot of useful knowledge for readers, especially the issues discussed regarding religious stereotypes. And that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.